Today, Kate joins us to raise awareness of a little-known reproductive health issue that caused her years of pain. Here to tell us more, please welcome Kate Lawler.
Thanks for having me, everyone.
Hello. Gorgeous in pink. You look fabulous.
You don't look no different. More than years ago, you look exactly the same,
She does.
doesn't she?
She does look
I feel like I'm dressed like a toddler today, but, you know.
You look great. Listen, I had no idea that you had been through such of the mill with your health. And I have to confess to my shame, I have never heard of PCS, which is Pelvic Congestion Syndrome. So just tell us a little bit about that.
OK, so I'd never heard of it either, Jane, to be honest with you. So pelvic congestion syndrome is a condition that affects millions of women. The easiest way to describe it, it's hidden varicose veins in the pelvic area that become dysfunctional, and that causes pain, a lot of pain. Symptoms will include, like, just pain in the pelvic area. You can also get varicose veins at the top of the thighs. If you've been standing up all day, when you're on your period, after having sex. Sorry, I don't know if you can say sex on telly, but yeah,
fine.
didn't want to do that because it would be very painful afterwards. And it remains, like, largely undiagnosed because of a lack of understanding with gynecologists here in the UK. And that's why I'm on here, to raise awareness, first of all, of pelvic congestion syndrome, and to try and, I don't know, I just think the women's health gap is so big now. And we need...
I mean, you were, I think it was 2018, wasn't it? You were on holiday, you were admitted to hospital because the pain was so great. And, you know, you were repeatedly told that it was just one of those things you kind of got to put up with, right? They didn't know what it was, or...
Yeah. My symptoms started in December 2017. I had the worst pain in my lower groin area. And I went to the doctors. I had a trans-abdominal scan, a pelvic scan. I ended up in A&E in March here in the UK because the pain was so bad. I then had another scan. Everything was telling me that, well, the A&E trip said that she thought I had a hernia. I didn't have a hernia. Then I thought I had appendicitis. Wasn't that. And then I ended up in Greece on holiday, and I was like, something bad's happening. And they were like, everything's fine. And I was thinking, am I going mad?
So how did it get diagnosed?
In 2022, in August, I was at a clinic on Bond Street. I was seeing one of the UK's leading vein specialists about my varicose veins in my legs because they were starting to cause me pain. And he explained to me about the higher varicose veins in my thighs could be a symptom of pelvic congestion syndrome. Now, I'd never heard of it, and I said, what's that? And he explained it to me about the pain. And when I've had pain since 2017, like, please help me. He said, we need to do a proper scan. Found out I had it, and then I was treated for it. And it's a real kind of, it's like a walk-in, walk-out procedure.
Wow.
It's in an hour.
How was you treated? What did they do?
It's called pelvic vein embolization. They basically use platinum coils. Got platinum in my body now. And they use these coils that wrap around the veins, and they stop the veins from working.
But all those years you could have been pain-free.
Yeah. This is the thing. And the GPs don't know enough about it. We need, like, increased investment in research. We need better access to specialised services, and we just need a greater focus on women's health issues in the NHS, not just for something like pelvic congestion syndrome, but for things like menopause as well.
Yep. I mean, I must say here, Marlene's going to ask you a question, but I wanted to ask all of you on the panel, actually, the waiting list for an endometriosis diagnosis in this country is, what do you think, average? What do you think the waiting time? 2 years?
5.
2 months?
2 months? Years.
8 years and 10 months.
Yeah. Oh, my God. You could be dead by then, couldn't you?
That tells you all you need to know, doesn't it?
But I've recently met with Wes Streeting. I've met with health officials for some time now because I'm also dealing with women's health issues with miscarriage, and they, by their own admission, say there isn't enough attention and that women's healthcare is misogynistic. So I'm guessing this is exactly what you're coming up against.
Yeah.
Everyone admits that there's a problem because we are effectively treated like small men. They won't do clinical trials on us. As women, we metabolise drugs completely differently. So nobody's willing to actually put the tests, put us through the tests because of our hormones, because of pregnancy, because of all the different symptoms that we experience. So how do we combat this?
I know.
They won't give us the money.
51% of the population.
Well, absolutely. And if you're not a woman, you're either married to one or came from one or whatever else. It's like everybody is affected by this, and yet nobody wants to do anything.
Yeah. I mean, Kate, what I admire about you is you're very, very open, which I think is very important, actually, when you have a platform. And obviously, the last time you were here, you talked about being child-free. You've since had a...
I was flying that flag.
You've since had a child, which is fantastic. Congratulations. But you were also very honest about struggling.
Yes.
In the very early days, because obviously a lot of what we see on Instagram is I've had a baby, it's marvellous, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. And you struggled.
I did, yeah. And I thought I had to use my platform because I thought if I can't be the only one going through this. When I was pregnant, I thought I'd be sharing pictures and videos of me happily breastfeeding with my new baby, and it was the complete opposite.
What did you struggle with?
I had postnatal depression in the first year. And do you know what? It was such a blur. Like, I read back at notes I made loads of notes in that first year, and it was awful. I had suicidal thoughts. I thought I'd made a mistake. I thought I'd ruined my life, and I had self-doubt issues. I loved my daughter. I didn't have a problem bonding with her. The moment she came out of me, I was, like, in love. But I felt useless as a parent. I felt like I couldn't breastfeed. There were so many challenges. My mood was so rock bottom, and I just went into the deepest depression I've ever been into. And I thought, why is this happening to... I stupidly, when I was pregnant, just didn't think it would happen to me. But again, I think I focused too much on social media and seeing everybody being happy on social media and how lovely it looked. And I didn't do any research about postnatal depression. It can happen to anyone, no matter where they're from, their background. And I just wanted to put it out there that I was struggling. And when I did, thousands of women, even yesterday, someone came up to me and said, your book really helped me. And so that's why I had to write a book. I thought, I just want to get it out there of what being a new parent can be like. Not necessarily for everyone, because some people love it and they breeze through it, but I really struggled with being a new mum.
I love the videos that you make where, I mean, it's not nice to watch, but it is really reassuring when, you know, everyone's kicking off in the car. I think you did one about what you thought your holiday would look like.
Oh, holiday reality.
But it's something that we can all really relate to.
Yeah, no, I was just... Because, you know, when you see people's Instagram photos and videos from their holiday, you always post the best bits, right? But going on holiday with the child... There's a common saying, it's parenting abroad. We call them family trips now. We don't call them holidays, because you're going away with family. But you have to be... I really want to be honest, just because I don't just want to post the highlights. I always share the highlights and the lowlights, because that is life, right?
And more of it, please. We love it. We love it. And Kate, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
For coming and highlighting such an important issue.
Thank you.
Well done, really.